Natural to matte is where I'm at. I'm a poet and I didn't even know it. Bear with me here. How about we mix them all? Let me have my moment, okay? Hey guys, and welcome to today's video. So today I'm going to be doing a faves video. The products that have really stood out to me in a positive way that I'm falling in love with, that are kind of my new holy grails, or I really am enjoying and recommend. I haven't done one of those since June. If you've heard me say a million times over the last few months, I recently had a baby. My husband has her upstairs, so I don't have to record with her wrapped on me this time. I thought, let's do like a try on, full face, get ready with me, of current favorites that I've really been enjoying over the last 5 months, products that I've found over the last 5 months that have just really stood out to me. So let's start with face. So the first product I've been really loving is the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. This is really new to me. This is one of the more recent tries of mine and I instantly fell in love with it. This is not like new on the market. So if you've tried this and love it, then just let me have my moment, okay? I could not find this anywhere. It's hard to find drugstore products sometimes, and this one was never in stores. I found it in Old Navy. So if you're in Canada and you are trying to find this, check Old Navy. It's very similar to the Milk Makeup gripping primer, and this is a very sticky primer that you want to evenly apply to the face and then pat in. So I'll kind of spread it evenly and then I'll just start to kind of pat it in, and it's very sticky, but if you give it the time, which it says even on the instructions to give it 30 seconds to dry down, I do recommend, because sometimes the foundation may not lay properly over top if you don't give it a minute to kind of set. And once you do that, it's really actually not that sticky. So if you're worried about trying this because you think it's going to be uncomfortable or whatnot, it's really actually not. And I really enjoy it because it's super long wearing. You know, the foundation lays nicely over top and it looks really nice all day. And I just really like the fact that it helps my makeup last longer because I am combo oily skin type. The next product is foundation. I actually have 3 that I have found over the last few months that I've really fallen in love with. These are all, well, 2 of them especially are all super hype viral products. One of them I don't see really anywhere, and I think it should be somewhere. Like, people should be talking about this product. So I'll talk about the ones you already know, and that's number 1, the L'Oreal True Match Nude Hyaluronic Tinted Serum. Absolutely incredible, worth all of the hype. It's super thin and lightweight, yet it still delivers a medium coverage. You can also sheer it out for more sheer light coverage. So it's versatile and buildable. I enjoy the consistency of it because it's really comfortable and lightweight, undetectable and natural on the skin. And it also is really, really long wearing. The fact that it's a hyaluronic tinted serum, like it's made to hydrate your skin and plump up your skin. It does all of that. It makes it look incredibly juicy and lovely, but it lasts so long on my skin. This is one of the more long wearing foundations in my collection, and it doesn't dry out my skin. It doesn't have a super flat matte finish. If you can get away with not setting your foundation, it looks really, really beautiful on the skin. I have to set my foundation, so I never get that really dewy look. But if you can get away with it, you would love it. This is, I think, suitable for all skin types. Very similar is the Ambient Soft Glow foundation from Hourglass, but this one has a bit more coverage. So this is a little bit, in a sense, heavier. It's very lightweight, very comfortable, very undetectable and natural in the skin, but it's just a little bit more makeup than this one. Like, this one really does feel like you're just putting on like nothing, and it gives you kind of light to medium coverage. This one feels like you're putting on a very lightweight, comfortable, very natural foundation that gives you more medium to full coverage. So I really like both of them for their longevity. This one also lasts a really long time. This one also has a really beautiful, not super dewy, not super glowy, but it's that soft glow that gives you that healthy skin look. Really, really nice. I love this. It is totally worth every dollar you pay. It's totally worth every hype it gets. So those two are the more well-known ones, the ones that I really love for all of those reasons. And then the last one that I've been really loving is the Wet n Wild Tinted Hydrator. And something I'm noticing here is all of them are radiant finish, or like give some type of hydrating glowy effect, which is odd because I'm oily combo. So typically natural to matte is where I'm at. I'm a poet and I didn't even know it. Anyways, these are all three products that for dry skin you will love. They give you that hydration you need, and for even combo oily skin, they still last all day long. So I was really impressed. Number one, it's like super affordable, definitely the most affordable out of all three. It gives you a good medium coverage, especially if you build it, and it gives you the most beautiful hydrated skin look without being heavy or oily. It's really stunning. It needs to get more attention. And all three have beautiful ingredients, hyaluronic acid, squalene in this one. And this one also is a very beautiful formula filled with skin loving ingredients. So I kind of thought, and this could go wrong, which I shouldn't really do this for like a faves video when I'm trying to prove that these are nice products, but bear with me here. How about we mix them all? I don't know, let's see what it does. 1 pump of the Hourglass. You can see it's the thickest of all of them, and it is the most full coverage. So this gets up to a good full coverage, yet it still is lightweight. I'm gonna do 1.5 pumps of that because I like me some coverage. This is the tinted serum. As you can see, it's a more liquidy, thinner consistency, but still gives you good medium coverage. I'm gonna do like a good squirt of that. We may have some extra, but it's okay. And then I'm gonna do some of this, which is about almost actually maybe an in-between consistencies. It's a little thinner than the Hourglass, but it is very just slightly thicker than the L'Oreal. Who knows? I mean, it might not last as long as it would if they were individually used, but who knows? Maybe I'll try this again and I'll be like, wow, this is the most long-wearing, beautiful foundation ever. So let's go ahead and see what we get with these three put together. Now, obviously, you're not going to see any of these individually used in case you're interested. So I'm gonna link down my reviews of all of these products so that you can see them in action on their own. But this is actually looking pretty good, and I'm getting that nice coverage that I personally love. Another thing that I love is that 2 out of the 3 options that I just showed you are from the drugstore. So, I mean, this is like, what, $70 Canadian? This was like less than 10, and this was less than $25. So if you are on a budget, these 2 are stunning. Now, if you're looking for something to invest in, this really is a beautiful foundation that's worth the investment. I actually have 3 concealers as well, but I couldn't leave any of them out. Like, they're all seriously stunning. So the first one is the Hourglass Vanish Concealer. Just a quick mention because it's not new, but I had never tried it until I tested this new foundation. Love it, worth the hype, worth the investment. It is full coverage. It has a really nice lightweight natural finish to it. That's kind of a soft matte finish. It doesn't dry out your under eyes. It looks really, really smooth on the skin, incredibly smoothing and super long wearing. So I love that. I've been using that a lot lately though. So I'm going to use the new Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Radiant Concealer. This is the newest one, and it is also radiant finish, which is kind of my like vibe lately. This one is also like super nice and radiant finish, and like hydrating to the under eyes. You can tell a difference, especially another point is if you have really, really dry skin, mature skin, you don't use any powder, you will see these dewy, radiant finish. Like, you can see a very soft sheen to my skin before I add the powder. Now, it does have a more natural finish that I've mixed them all, I find these two have a really nice like hydrating finish. This one is a little more natural finish, and I think mixing them all has made it, plus it's sat on the skin for a little bit now. Long story short, this is also a really beautiful hydrating formula, really good for dry, mature under eyes, but it is also safe for combo oily skin, even on the face, as it does last a really long time, especially if you set it down with a really good powder. So this one is stunning. I have this in the shade Fair 2. The Hourglass I have in the shade Birch, which is a little bit light for me, but it's okay because it does a really good job brightening and highlighting. And the third one I forgot upstairs, so I'm going to input a little footage here. And it is the Revlon Skin Awakening Concealer. This is another holy grail of many. It's another viral hype product. It's also not super new, but I tested it in the last couple months, and I really love it because it is extremely full, it's full coverage, it's extremely lightweight, it's not heavy or cakey, it's beautiful under the eyes and not drying. It has kind of a bit of a hydration to it without being super radiant, so it's kind of a more natural finish. And I find it lasts literally all day long. Really love that one as well and recommend it. And it is the most affordable option. So if you're also on a budget, then that is probably your best bet. And it's totally comparable. I actually find it's almost similar to this one in terms of formula. Obviously the applicator is the little sponge tip, which is really cute, and it's pretty small, especially compared to the Maybelline one, which is another, well-known sponge tip drugstore concealer, which is also great. I actually prefer the Revlon. It's more coverage and it's a little bit more lightweight and smoothing to the skin. And I find it just has a very similar, like kind of natural verging on soft matte finish, and it almost gives a smoothing blurring effect similar to this. So I like that. I'm not saying it's a dupe because I haven't tested it as a dupe yet, but who knows? I will test it and maybe it is a dupe and I'll let you guys know. So this is the Charlotte Tilbury concealer. It has a little bit of a thicker consistency than most of my concealers, which kind of scared me a little bit. I was like, ooh, this is gonna be cakey, but it's really not if you apply it with other nice complexion product. I would say this is like a good medium coverage, but it is also pretty buildable. You could probably get it to like a good full coverage. So it's not like dewy in the sense that it looks shiny or like wet or oily under the eyes. It just like really, you see how it like juices up the skin? I don't know. I hope you guys can see that. It's really nice. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and finish up. I'm gonna do a little bit of cream contour with my Fenty matchstick in the shade Amber to do a nice cool contour, because I do have a powder bronzer to share with you guys today. So I wanted to put a little bit of cooler tone contour, and I'm gonna set the face with my One Size, which is also my favorite loose setting powder right now. So I'll go ahead and do that because those are not new, and I will be back for our next product. So while I'm letting this bake sit, we're gonna do brows, and the brow product that I have literally become obsessed with is the NYX Thick It Stick It Brow Mascara. It is literally the most filling, makes your brows look so full and fluffy, and it's because it actually has fibers in it. So it has hair-like fibers that are actually going to attach to your hairs and create a more full, thick brow. So I like to pair it with my Benefit Brow Microfilling Pen because it gives you that kind of natural full, it creates more stroke-like natural filled-in brow rather than my pomade like defined brow, and then this gives it that fluffy look. It's so good. Now I'm going to show you this baby right here. You can even see the fibers here. Do you see that? Like, so good. And the wand is quite large, so that's maybe the one downside, but I find that it's not like messy. It's not a messy product, and you can use the tip to really comb through the smaller areas and be a little bit more precise. I'm gonna apply it through a couple times. So I usually go through the brow probably 3 times. I don't normally like dip it back in to add any product because I also don't want to like it to be too crazy, but I go over it a few times to really get those fibers in there and to really stand the hairs up a little bit more. and it is extremely long wearing. See the difference? Like how fluffy that one is? And it just looks thicker, like there's actually more hairs to it. Another one that I'm not gonna use today because it's not new, but I did try recently and I just wanna give it the hype it deserves, is the NYX Brow Glue. Like NYX, you have done it again with both of these. Like the NYX Brow Glue is also, if you're looking for a clear option, that's maybe not going to add that fiber where it's gonna, this one thickens the brow and it also gives you the feathery look. This is like the best brow gel you can get, or a clear brow gel that's going to hold your brows in place. It's like sticky, how it like strings out, and it is insane. It holds your brows all day. And this kind of has like a sticky sensation too. So see, like, look at that. I love this stuff. I love this stuff. I have 3 palettes too. 3 is the number for today. Is there like a special, something special about the number 3? I don't know. But I have 3 palettes to share with you because they're all seriously probably my top 3 palettes right now. I love them so hard. The first one is the Natasha Denona My Dream palette. It is the most everyday palette that I have to mention today. It is really stunning. The color scheme has super neutral, natural options that you can do really simple everyday looks with, yet you have those darker shades to really like smoke things up. You have some pops of color and brightness. The metallics are creamy and pigmented, and there's duochromes. There's so many different finishes, and the mattes are pigmented, blendable, beautiful. They go well together, and there's still so much option even though it is a very everyday palette in my mind. It's kind of everyday plus more. Like I say that a lot here on my channel, it's everyday plus some. You know, it gives you the ability to do every day, which I think if you're gonna invest money in a palette, unless there's something really special about it, you kind of want to be able to use it a lot, right? This one, it is that, but it also gives you those really dreamy metallics too, so I love it. The other one is the Pat McGrath Mega Palette of the year, and this is the Mothership Mega Celestial Nirvana palette. I love these palettes from Pat McGrath because they are number one, the best value, the best bang for your buck. You're getting the most amount of eyeshadow possible from Pat McGrath, and it is way cheaper than the original Mothership palettes. And it is because it's for the holidays. They're limited edition. They do not last all year. So if you want this, go buy it like now, because once they sell out, it's done. Or at least they might still be available in the new year, and don't quote me on that because they might not be, but I think they are, but not for long. So I really like this one because it has so many more mattes than any other palette that she has, and I do really like her matte formula. It's pigmented and blendable, you know, beautiful formula. But a lot of her palettes will maybe only have 1 or 2, maybe 3 mattes, and they're usually very dark. So this palette kind of gave me everything I've always been looking for from Pat McGrath. It has the same amount of mattes as there is metallics. I think there's 9 mattes and 9 metallics, and it gives you so many different options, including a light transition shade that I don't think I've ever seen in Pat McGrath's palettes. Like really, really nice, beautiful kind of neutral brown, verging on cool tone. It has a darker brown. It has some purples, some blue, some red, and some kind of orangey red. It has a pink, like so many different options. You could use it for every season. And like, okay, first, I forgot to swatch the Natasha Denona palette. We have to show you these stunning, stunning like duochromes and metallics. Like this is just kind of like an everyday metallic. There's more like glitter finish metallics, like beautiful metallics from Natasha Denona, and then the same from Pat McGrath. Pat McGrath's metallics are some of my absolute favorites. Like we have a nice, beautiful blue. Like look at that. Bam. See, when I swatch metallics, sometimes I watch back when I'm editing and I'm like, I think I'm too hard on like the brands, but like this is what I'm looking for. The bam, the light shift, the like, oh, you can't beat it. Natasha Denona. and Pat McGrath. Like, look at how buttery smooth, bam, beautiful. I can't even get over it. Like, this one is one of my favorites from this palette because it's just different. Like, you don't see that like icy lavender shade very often. So really love the Pat McGrath palette as well. Hands down a favorite. And the last one is the Danessa Murix Lightworks palette. If this wasn't in this video, then I would just be crazy because it's one of the best palettes I've ever bought in my life. It's very expensive, but it's going to last you so long because it's all metallics. If you're not into metallics or glitter or like glitz, you don't bother with this palette. But this one is so nice for those who love metallics, duochromes, who are maybe makeup artists who are going to be playing around with color. It has different finishes, so it has I forget the names of them, but like basically regular metallic duochromes. It has these two here are glitter finish, so they're a little bit more sheer and just more glittery. And then it has the aqua ones, which are you drip water in them, aqua chromes, and you kind of mix it into a paste. And so you're able to do like graphic duochrome liners. It's seriously so cool. And then it also has two of their pressed chrome flakes. Actually, that's probably my least favorite formula in here. I don't know if I just also haven't figured out how to play around with that formula, and I'm still figuring it out, but I even would buy this palette just for the duochromes and the aqua chromes. Seriously stunning. And the chrome flakes are cool. It's just that I feel like they're a little bit hard. Like, look at that. Like, look at that and tell me that that's not cool. They're just a little bit more of a interesting formula. I feel like they're just like not something I'm used to, and so I'm still figuring them out, but they are beautiful. These are the most stunning duochromes I've ever experienced. And if you are into duochrome and metallic, seriously buy this palette. So what I want to show you today is a cool look that I've been really digging lately that literally takes like 5 minutes, not even, and it is like a super glam kind of like fashionable look. So what you have to do, and you don't have to have this palette to do it, you can use any of your metallics that you have at home, any of your duochromes that you have at home. You could even do this with a liquid eyeshadow, any type of like shimmer, or like any type of metallic. So from this palette, probably one of my favorites, oh, this is so hard. I think one of my favorites is the shade Out of Body. Like, you don't even need a lot either. There's that one, there's the shade Awakening, which has a more like purple. Ooh, should we do that one? Trippy is really cool too. I think I'm gonna go with Out of Body because it really is one of my favorites. And I'm gonna grab it on, first I'm gonna get a small brush so I can get right in the corner of my eye. So I'm gonna pop that on, and you don't need a lot. You just need to like kind of pat on this palette a few times, and I'm gonna wet it with my setting spray. And I'm gonna pop it in the inner part. Look at how it spreads too. Now I am wetting these, but it just gives me a little bit better control for what I'm about to do. And it also makes it pop even more. Fill this part in. So you're gonna kind of apply it to the whole entire lid, right? And you're going to almost create a wing with it. Now you could get a thinner brush, like whatever brush works for you. This one is just working, so I'm gonna stick with it. And then you're gonna almost connect it. This is just such a really simple look, but it looks so incredibly glam, and that's what I love. So you can create kind of any shape that you want. I'm gonna bring the wing up a little bit more, like a almost graphic liner type look. And it's, if I wasn't walking you through it, it would have taken me literally 2 seconds to do both eyes. It's seriously the most fun way to play around with metallics. And especially for these ones that I have here by Danessa Murix, they're like literally the best metallics you've ever seen in your whole entire life. This eye always looks so much better. This eye just droops more, like it's more hooded. So if you were to pull this up a little bit, then they would kind of look more even. but I'm just gonna stop playing with them because it's just gonna bother me. But is that not the cutest look ever? I love it. I've been doing that a lot lately, actually, when I want to just play around. It's so fun. I'm gonna connect it to the lower lash line. Okay, moving on, we have a mascara that I've been really loving, and it is very new to me. I think it's new to the market as well. That's the Essence Another Volume Mascara, but better. It's literally the name of it. And the reason that I love this is it's so cheap, and it literally wowed me. It fans the lashes out nicely and separates them. It gives them length. It also gives them volume without being clumpy. It doesn't get clumpy. It just looks really nice. Moving on, we have some bronzer, and the bronzer that I've been obsessed with lately is the Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear. This is, you see it everywhere over TikTok, so I'm just gonna add a little bit of warmth to the cheeks. It's pigmented, it has a nice matte finish without looking dry, and it is stunning on the skin. It's smoothing to the skin. It has a really nice warmth without looking orange. It gives almost that blurring effect, like that soft matte finish that like looks really blurring to the skin. And the next product for cheeks is the My Dream Cheek Trio from Natasha Denona. It goes with the eyeshadow palette that I mentioned. So it comes with a cream blush, and the reason I love this blush is number one, the shade. It is so stunning. It is like a really nice, very versatile, like you could use it for a lot of different skin tones and undertones, and it just is really a beautiful formula. I love Natasha Denona's cream blushes because you can apply them over top of powder, you can apply them underneath powder. They're very easy to blend out, they're pigmented, and they're just such a beautiful finish. They're kind of that smoothing finish as well. They really make the skin look perfected, and I love that. And then they also have some beautiful highlights. So there's a cream highlight, the Cream Glow, and sometimes I even just pop this on with my finger. It just gives a really natural creamy glow. You can even use your sponge, which is my preferred way. And then they also have a powder highlight in here, which is their Dream Glow. And that one on its own, it's like a beautiful powder highlight. If you pop it over top of the cream, it just gives like the most stunning effect. So you can, it's a versatile palette because you can use the highlights on their own, or you can layer them for a really nice like bam highlight. Bam. Okay, moving on, we have lips, and then we're done. So for lips, I actually really love the not Natasha Denona, the Rare Beauty lip products. The lip pencil is extremely easy to use. It glides well, but it doesn't slip and slide and make a mess. It is really long wearing. It not only wears long on its own, but it also promotes longevity for your other products that you lay over top. And then the lipstick I really love because it is extremely comfortable. It feels like you're virtually wearing nothing. It's really, really long wearing, and especially for like a regular lipstick. And it has a beautiful soft matte finish to it. So they're not only stunning, but they also are easy to use. They're also extremely comfortable, and they wear a really long time. And I also like to use them mixed up with other products. Like I don't always use this lip liner, and I'll pop this on top, and I don't always use this lipstick, and I'll use the lip liner. I probably, out of the two, prefer the lip liner because it's really long wearing. That is the lineup of products that I've really been enjoying and loving lately. Honestly, every single product I've mentioned are extremely beautiful and stunning, and I recommend you guys checking all of them out. I will list them all down below, and also list my reviews if you want a more dedicated video on the product. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.